under a light bulb looking at the floor. The fourth one doesn't even ask, just looks at the floor. Fifth one comes along, looks at the floor. Sixth one, seventh one, eighth one. The 18th one that comes along looking at the floor finally taps somebody on the shoulder and say, "What you looking at?" "I don't know. But there must be something because everyone's looking." Tapped another shoulder, tapped another shoulder, tapped another shoulder, until they got to the original young man that was helping. And he says, "We're looking for a needle." Okay, at least now we know what we're looking for. And it's her needle. So she looks up to, doesn't matter, looks up to the old lady and said, "You dropped your needle here?" And she says, "No, I dropped it in my living room." The house was next door, just there. So the most logical question, then why are you looking for it here? Because this is where the light is. Where do we look for happiness? Where the light is. In bling. Whatever is shiny. We look for happiness in whatever is shiny. If you don't believe me, do an arts and crafts exercise with 5-year-olds. Keep normal stickers, keep shiny stickers. Shiny stickers gone. Our sense organs in Sanskrit are called devas, meaning they shine. Why are they shining? Because it's through the sense organs that we are perceiving the world. We are receiving information. That which actually shines, Chit consciousness, we recognize as perception. I look at you, immediately knowledge. I recognize your face. I recognize the expression on your face. I judge pretty face, handsome face, kind face, so many things. Through the ears, just somebody saying my name is sense pleasure. You don't believe me? If I call you the wrong name, just somebody saying our name, we enjoy. We enjoy through the senses because it makes sense. And then if it's pleasurable, it's instant, immediately. Taste immediate. We hear something immediate. We feel something immediate. So where will we look for happiness? So easy. Senses are all open, continuously receiving information. Is happiness there? You don't even have to have attended Vedanta. Born in Indian culture, where's happiness? You will answer, inside. Even without attending Vedanta class. Where are we looking for it? Always, most of the time, outside. So where did we lose it? She lost the needle in her lounge, inside the house. Where is she looking for it? Outside. Because there's light outside. When we close our eyes, what do we see? This one Balvihar kid answered, duck. It's true, right? When we close our eyes, we see duck. Because we're so habituated of thinking of light as this. The sensory perception of light is what we associate with light. And so take away sensory perception and we experience dark. So how to look in the dark? But when it does get dark, our eyes climatize, don't they? And we do start to be able to see. So if we stay there, we do start to see. We start to see our own thoughts. And if we stay there long enough and thoughts fade away, we come to see silence. And in that silence, the reflection of light is clear. Yesterday, somebody asked me, where does heart feature in all of this? We've spoken about mind and intellect. Where's heart? We use the word slightly different in Vedanta. Every science has its own terms and terminologies. Gurudev would explain this often. So, when we close our eyes, the first thing we are aware of, most people, is body. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. And then we'll adjust posture, or we'll just aware of how we're feeling in the body. Then body gets boring after a while. And then we start thinking something. What do we think about? Current favorite desire or current pet hate. It's true. That's what we think about. Or if you have pending work, you might think about that. Otherwise, pet desire, pet hate. That's where mind goes to. So after being aware of body, we become aware of mind and all the thoughts. If there is judgment or logical thinking, intellect comes in. All our feelings that we usually in the Western world call as heart is mind in Vedantic terminology. Because an emotion only happens when there's a series of thoughts. They don't just come. Some thought will trigger an emotion. And the heart, and in this verse, it's saying that we attain happiness when we meditate on Brahman. And Gurudev in the commentary has explained that Brahman is residing in the cave of our heart. Hridaya Guhyam. Usually in the scriptures, that's the terminology used. So what's the heart in Vedanta? It's the seat of all goodness. It's where our nobility, our values, our sense of dharma. It's love. Not all emotions, just love. And everything that's inspired by love. Kindness is inspired by love. Patience is inspired by love. Forgiveness is inspired by love. Tolerance is inspired by love. Resilience, persistence, determination, all inspired by love. And so the heart is that seat of purity. And it's also where we find happiness, where goodness lies, where virtues lies, where love lies. In goodness, in virtues, in love, we feel full. Like I said on the first day, happiness is actually very hard to describe. But if we really think about it, it feels light. Usually we didn't associate sadness as the opposite of happiness. And sadness feels heavy. Happiness feels light. Happiness feels free. And it also feels full. So when we're happy, and people say, do you need something or do you want something? We say, I'm good. Full. When we're not, and people ask, do we need anything? One long list comes. A very affluent father wanted to teach his son about poverty. And so drove him out to a farm that wasn't so well to do financially and stayed there for about 4 days, wanting to expose his son and giving him gratitude for all the things that they have. On the drive back on the 4th day, the father asked, did you enjoy the trip? And the son was smiling from ear to ear and said, it was amazing, Dad, thank you. And so then he wanted to know if he was successful in his mission, and he asked, did you see how the poor lived? And he said, I did. And then he wanted to make sure that the son really understood and said, yeah, tell me about it. And he said, they have 4 dogs and we have only 1. We have a swimming pool in our backyard, but they have a river that's never ending. We have fancy lanterns at night that we on, but they have twinkling stars. We have a backyard and they have the endless horizon. But most of all, Dad, we have high walls to protect us, and they have none because they protect each other. Thanks, Dad, for showing me how poor we are. When we have love, when our hearts are full, we see things so differently. Even the way we see wealth is so incredibly different. And so withdrawing from all the distractions that the senses provide us. And the senses will distract us because, as Gita Upanishad said, they meant to. The eyes are meant to keep us from walking into walls. We need to be able to see. And we don't want to bite into spoiled food. And so the smell faculty was meant to go outwards. They serve a purpose, but we use them for far more than that. We use them to find happiness. They were just meant to be used to gain information about our surroundings so that we can make intelligent decisions. If you look for something where it's not, how will we possibly find it? We have to look for it where it is. So, the next verse speaks a bit more about how sense objects are fleeting and they temporary and they can end up actually bringing more pain than joy. So we'll skip ahead to verse number 23.
Shaknoti haiva yasodhum praksharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayuktas sa sukhi naraha.
Sukhi naraha, that man, woman, he, she, whoever it may be, to quote Gurudev's way of translating Saha, that person is happy who kama krodha bhavam vikam, who can control the impulses born out of kama, desire, and krodha. So many desires constantly throughout the day. And all of us know what self-control is. All of us also know how to practice self-control. And so we don't give in to every desire. So that ability to control, which we already know, we already have, the better we are at exercising that control, the happier we are, is what this verse is saying. But not just desire, krodha, the ability to control desire and all those emotions that arise out of desire. So desire is the launch pad for pretty much all the emotions we experience. If we don't get what we want, anger. If we do get what we want, greed. We want more. If somebody else gets what we want, jealousy. If we get it and then maybe we could lose it, we get too much of it, we've already gone into greed, and then we feel very, very proud that we have this, whatever this is. Right? So the whole host of emotions, all coming from desire. So controlling desire and controlling all the emotions that arise from desire. Having it and controlling it is harder. So it's saying, control it before it comes. How to do that? How to control it before it even comes? A desire or any emotion grows with repeated thought. I was mentioning earlier. Emotions belong to the mind because, let's say, somebody says, would you like hot chocolate? Fleeting thought, hot chocolate. Desire? Yes. One thought is a desire. Can I say no and forget about it? You have, right? All of us have. Let's say I don't say no and forget about it. I think, actually, what type of hot chocolate? And then, what was it? Noops. Was that the name? The newest shop in London serving the most varied hot chocolate possible, where you can tailor make your own cup. It's really good. Now, how many thoughts were that? Then you're still thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. You might not get another chance. You know, the trip is short, it's really busy. Should just do it now. Okay, done, let's go. One thought won't cause a desire. Build up of thoughts cause a desire. One thought won't cause anger. Build up of thoughts cause anger, jealousy, sadness. I don't know if I've already given this example. Let's say someone calls you Muda because they studied Bhajagovindam. Build up of thought, like I said in yesterday's class. How dare they? Of course I'm not. What right do they have? Let's say it's your brother, your sister that says it. Look at them. Any emotion? Unless you don't get along with brother or sister. But usual banter in the house, that same statement, no build-up of thought, no emotion. So what's this verse saying? No need to build up. Gurudev explained so beautifully. We have Shiva temples, we have Vishnu temples, no Brahma temples. Why? And then all the kids go into the story about the flower and how Brahmaji lied. And then he got cursed, and so there's no Brahma temples, except in Thailand, they didn't get the memo. But Gurudev explains, why is there no Brahma temple? Brahmaji is creator. This build-up of thoughts is what creates. Even I set a goal, build-up of thoughts, to crystallize the goal, to make the plan of action, to work towards the goal, creating. But even faltu creating all through the day of me getting angry, me getting distracted, me getting restless. We do it so easily. Thought build-up happens so easily. We don't need to invoke Brahmaji. But to have a good thought and maintain it, we need to invoke Vishnu. To develop a wrong habit or an unconducive thought, and we want to destroy it. Don't think about monkey. What will you do? I said don't. We need to invoke Shiva. Because the more you don't want the thought, the more it's there. When you're scared and you don't want to think about, the more you think about it. You're angry with the person and you don't want to think about them, the more you think about them. Why don't we have Brahma temples? We don't need build-up of thoughts. In fact, build-up of thoughts trap the mind. No build-up of thoughts, and the mind is free. We want to be free. The build-up of thoughts is building bondage. Because we give it more and more and more reality. Do you want hot chocolate? And then suddenly hot chocolate becomes so real. And the desire for it becomes so real. Drop the thought, does hot chocolate exist? Maybe. Build up of thoughts bind us. Even if it's just temporarily. Because when that build up of thoughts fall away, we immediately build up the next one. So, yesterday when we were talking about not having expectations, just being here now. Just continuously staying here now. It's very tricky to do that. Because we try to catch now and be here now. And then it's gone. It's because it's so fast. I have to clear my mind. I have to be present. I have to know no thoughts, no thoughts. But actually, building up the thoughts is work. Letting it go is not work. Now you're thinking, really? Letting go of my thoughts is work. We holding on. And then we trying to let go while we holding on. Please know this. If letting go of a thought is hard for you, it's because part of you is holding on to that thought. And so with one hand you holding on, and with the other thought you let it go, let it go. Where's what you just need to do? Let it go. We're doing this in our mind all the time. And then we're so tired we need a nap. So, even before the build-up happens, the control is letting it go and not holding on. Because Brahman, which is infinite, what do I need to hold on to? If I'm infinite, what do I need to hold on to? If I am happiness, not happy. Scriptures are not saying I am happy. I am happiness. Right? I am Sat, Chit, Ananda. happiness. If I am happiness, what do I need to hold on to? Any object to make me happy? Any circumstance to make me happy? Any person? Ha ha ha. If I am love, what is there to hold on to? And so it should never close. Just leave it open. Like a river never pauses, just continues to flow. Time itself never pauses, continues to flow. And so to be here now, I'm also flowing. But to be here now, we try to hold. It's almost impulse. Hold. Why? We lose it. What are we going to lose? The most beautiful thing about this knowledge is shows us the questions to ask ourselves. And then lastly, verse number 24.
Yontah sukhontararamah Yontah sukhontararamah Tathantarjyotirevayah Tarjyotirevayah Sayogi Brahmanirvanam Sayogi Brahmanirvanam Brahmabhutodhigacchati Brahmabhutodhigacchati.
That person who finds antarsakhi, happiness inside. Antaramaha, who rejoices in that happiness which is inside. This person attains moksha. This person is eternally happy. This person is synonymous with Brahman. So after writing that first book, little Yash lost his smile. That encapsulated the previous verses of looking inside. Every parent asked me, how to be happy? Look inside. No, how? So I had to write another book. And it was Little Yash is Happy Now. How really is a wonderful question. And when I Googled how to be happy, remember in that whole list, this wasn't one of the answers. It's so simple. Choose. Just choose to be happy. And so I wrote this book about the kid choosing to be happy. And then every page where I wrote, encouraging the child to choose to be happy. And Guruji edited my book and added, right now. When should we choose to be happy? Right now. I was talking with some people very early in my spiritual journey, and this very enthusiastic seeker, a young boy, was telling us his story about having heard the satsang, having heard about, we being happiness by nature, was having a miserable day, was working 2 jobs to earn the tuition for uni, plus all the uni fees, feeling very burdened by it all. Then came to satsang, chanted Om Namah Shivaya, heard that we are auspiciousness, happiness, bliss, and thought, okay. Then went off to do some seva because, want to purify the mind to actually be able to experience this bliss that we are. And was frowning, sulking, when a friend said, okay, when are you going to be happy? I'll talk to you then. And just conversation with friends. And the little partially irritated by a question, what do you mean when I'm going to be happy? I'll talk to you then. Like being cheeky, replied, I'll be happy at 3:00. And went off. I think it was like late morning when he said this. And doing errands, running here, there. And it so happened that at 2:50, he started washing dishes in the ashram itself. So there was a lot of dishes. He's washing, and suddenly he feels really happy. And he thinks, what just happened? Did somebody walk in? No. And then as he's looking around to think, what just happened? His eyes fell on the clock. And it was 3:01. He had even forgotten that he said he will be happy at 3:00. It wasn't even said with the intention of I am a spiritual seeker and I choose to be happy. It was like, annoying friend, I will give annoying answer. But he chose that at 3:00 he will be happy. And his conscious mind forgot it. But at 3:00 he felt different. Our minds are so powerful because we Brahman. Our minds are so powerful. Choose and you will be. And so you can do a whole list of happiness is the smell of grass after it's rained. You can be so poetic about it. Happiness is having a good hair day. But what is it? Our choice. It's our choice. Actually, it's our nature. But it's our choice to experience our nature or not. Because of this wonderful thought build-up. If we choose thought build-up, we won't experience our nature. We will experience whatever the build-up of thought is. If the buildup of thought is desire, I'm experiencing desire. If the buildup of thought is sadness, I'm experiencing sadness. So that's the choice. Build up the thought and experience whatever you're building up. And you creating it because you're building up and that's why you're experiencing it. Or choose happiness. One of the most powerful things I learned when I was still practicing psychology is, especially in there's some kind of conflict in relationships, we would ask the question, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Which one? Oh, you're not answering. If you and I have an argument, it was your job, you should have done it. No, you can do a job even if it's not yours. Why? Just in the spirit of service and being nice to other people, just do. No, I'll only do my job. Why you want to be so conjuice? Now that we're having, I'm saying it sweetly, let's say we really disagree. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? A lot of people will say both. When you say both, what are you choosing? Thank you. And I have had so many people answer, right. I want to be right. To hell with happiness. Exactly. What do we choose? Is what we have. But sometimes you want to be right and the other person's just not agreeing. So you may not never ever get it. But if you choose to be happy, you got it. So profound. It's really so profound. Even I get really upset and I'm crying. And then, the other person comes and says, sorry. And I'm like, no, but you were wrong. I haven't finished crying yet. We do this. We do this. We hold on. We build up that thought. We hold on. They've said sorry already now. They haven't suffered enough to make them suffer. I will suffer too. Do I want to be happy? Then you can be. Absolutely no one is stopping you. Only you are stopping you from being happy. Who would have thought the problem is me? If you don't want to be the problem, don't study Vedanta. But if you want the problem to dissolve, study Vedanta. Because now there's no problem. If I want to be happy and I don't want to be right, there's no problem. If I want to be happy, if I'm willing to let go of my sadness, there's no problem. The secret is you have every single moment of every single day of your entire life the choice. So be happy and flood the world with it. We certainly want more smiling faces on this planet, more loving hearts on this planet. And then let the solution be me. When we open our hearts and we open our mind, then that divinity flows through. And that is what we call grace. May we live always in His grace. When I arrived in London and saw this flyer, I did a Facebook. Who gave this topic? And the organizers looked at me and said, you. And so it challenged me to present this beautiful knowledge in a somewhat different way. It's the same, just the presentation of it. And it's been a joy to reflect on these verses over these 3 days. Thank you all. My salutations to Puja Gurudev. Who fortunately speaks when I open my mouth. Making me sound somewhat wise. It's only His grace. My salutations to the entire Guru Parampara, where I repeat their stories, their points. I share their love that I have received. And my gratitude to Chinmaya Mission London for continuing the beautiful vision and mission that Gurudev started. Amen. We'll end with a bhajan that we had worked on a few years ago. Talks a little bit about happiness. If I falter, then help me. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Trigunarahitam Tattvamasyadilaksham. Ekam Nityam Trigunarahitam
Brahmanandam Paramasukhatam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Satrisham Tattvamasyadi Laksham.
If you take the happiness of all the people in all the world and you put it together, it becomes just one drop of happiness. In the happiness that is the bliss that I find at my Guru's feet.
Brahmanandam Paramasukhatam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Satrisham Tattvamasyadi Laksham. Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvati Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami Satgurum Tam Namami Chinmayam Tam Namami Satgurum Tam Namami Chinmayam Tam Namami Brahmanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Satrisham Tattvamasyadi Laksham. Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvati Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami Satgurum Tam Namami Chinmayam Tam Namami Satgurum Tam Namami Chinmayam Tam Namami. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. 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 Om Shri Chinmaya Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri 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 Chinmaya. Om Shri Chinmaya. Om Shri Chinmaya.
Sadgurave Namaha.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om